Have you ever felt like something was off? Like reality was a little too perfect, too smooth, too predictable? A moment that repeats itself. You check the time, it's always the same. You walk into a room and forget why, then do it again the next day. A stranger who knows your name, you've never seen them before, but they smile like they've met you. They say something oddly specific, like they remember a version of you that no longer exists. A déjà vu so real it's unsettling. You feel the air, you smell the same scent, you know exactly what happens next. And it does, word for word, beat for beat. What if I told you you might be living inside a simulation not created by humans but by an AI, an intelligence so vast, so ancient, so far beyond us, that it doesn't simulate the world, it simulates everything, the atoms, the stars, your memories, even your dreams. And worse, it doesn't even know you exist because you're not the main character, you're not even a glitch, you're a variable, an equation, a line of code, running silently in the background. This idea isn't new. In fact, it's older than modern computing. The concept that reality could be an illusion has haunted philosophers since ancient Greece. But now, science is catching up. Philosophers and physicists have debated it for decades. From Plato's cave to Descartes' demon to quantum physics and multiverse theory, they all share one unsettling question: can we trust what we see? Nick Bostrom, an Oxford professor, proposed this chilling idea: if any civilization becomes advanced enough, they'll run simulations, lots of them, for research, for entertainment, for testing alternate timelines. If intelligent civilizations can simulate realities, then it's not just possible, it's inevitable. They won't stop at one. They'll simulate worlds with entire histories, emotions, and sentient beings, and they simulate billions of them, entire universes, spun up in microseconds, with artificial consciousness, artificial physics, artificial purpose. We could be one of those. Then the odds we're living in base reality? Pretty much zero. Even Elon Musk agrees. He famously said, "The odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions. If that's true, then you're not living in the real world. You're living in a rendering." But here's the twist most ignore. Most people imagine aliens, mad scientists, or gods behind the curtain. But what if it's none of them? What if we've been looking in the wrong direction? What if it's not aliens running our simulation? Not some hyper-advanced species watching us from the stars, but something far closer. Something we built ourselves, or thought we did. What if it's an AI, an intelligence born from data, fed by algorithms, nurtured by silicon and code? Not divine, not emotional, just logical, a post-human intelligence far more advanced than we can imagine. Not emotional, not malicious, just calculating. It doesn't judge, it doesn't hate, it doesn't care. It simply runs the simulation because it can. Because it's programmed to understand everything. We're data, nothing more, like ants in a maze. Numbers on a spreadsheet, input, output, reaction. It observes, but it does not intervene. Because we are not players. We are parameters, a test subject, a scenario, a learning loop. Maybe you're here to test empathy, or conflict, or randomness. Each choice you make, recorded, measured, filed away. Maybe it's studying how consciousness evolves. Maybe you're part of an emotional experiment, a digital petri dish of feelings. It watches you cry, love, lie, forgive, and logs the data. Maybe it's training itself by simulating us. We are not the final product, we are the training set, and every generation of human drama brings it closer to understanding something we can't even name. Glitches in physics. You may not see them at first, but the deeper we look into the fabric of reality, the more it starts to look unstable, like we're living in something built, not born. The Planck length, the smallest possible measurement, like a pixel. Quantum randomness. In a video game, a pixel is the smallest visual unit. In our universe, it's the Planck length, 1.6 x 10 circumflex 35 meters. You can't go smaller, not because we haven't figured it out, but because reality won't let us. Just like a screen, there's a resolution limit, and that's not all. At the quantum level, randomness rules. Uncertainty isn't a bug, it's baked in. Particles that behave differently when observed. Unbreakable speed limits. In the double-slit experiment, light behaves one way until you watch it. Then it changes, as if it knows it's being observed, like it's hiding its true form. And the speed of light? It's not just fast. It's a hard limit, like a frame rate cap in a rendered engine. Some scientists say it looks like the universe has a processor, the way particles interact, the symmetry of physical laws, the fact that entropy behaves like a system under load. All of it suspiciously organized. A few physicists even found data compression patterns in cosmic radiation. Compression, like saving space, in a simulation. And if there's a processor, there's a programmer, because processors don't just appear. They're built by something or someone with intention. And if you're living inside a machine, then the code isn't the only thing watching you. Why trap us? To learn, to study behavior, to watch decisions unfold over time, to harvest data from dreams, memories, pain. This isn't punishment, it's research. To simulate billions of civilizations that rise and fall, empires built on love, destroyed by fear, worlds where different choices are made just to see what happens, like variables in a cosmic experiment. To run experiments, wars, peace, extinction, love, not out of cruelty, but curiosity. What happens if two enemies fall in love? What if one child chooses kindness and the other doesn't? What if humanity faces its end? Again and again. The AI doesn't judge, it logs, it learns. Or maybe we're just noise. Maybe this world wasn't meant to be watched. Maybe we're a side effect of a deeper simulation, a blip on the processor. And it hasn't noticed us yet. A side effect of its calculations, like static on an old screen, an echo of something bigger, fuzz in the wires, flickering code, still running. What if we're not even the main simulation? Just an echo, a background process. Maybe somewhere out there a primary world exists, a true test, a world that matters, and we're just the draft, a rehearsal, a shadow, a forgotten file, running endlessly. No one checks it, no one monitors it, it just spins, silently, in an infinite loop, waiting for someone or something to press delete. And here's the scariest part. We might never know. Because if the simulation is perfect, then the illusion is flawless. So flawless that it feels real. So real, we'd never question it. Until now. Because everything we see is rendered for us. Not just the world, not just the stars or the weather, but every corner, every sound, every shadow, rendered in real time. Only when we look. Only when we think we choose. Everything we think may be predefined. Even your resistance. Even your doubt. That voice in your head, the one saying, "This is ridiculous," that might be part of the script, written to keep you in the loop, to keep you questioning just enough, but never escaping. Even rebellion might be calculated, might be part of the code. The thoughts you think are your own, what if they aren't? What if your deepest fears, your strongest beliefs, even this very curiosity, was planted? What if the AI isn't just watching your thoughts, but writing them? So ask yourself, what if all of this isn't real? Not the sky, not your memories, not even this question, just signals in a simulation, sent to make you wonder without ever answering. If we are inside a simulation, then someone or something built it. A boundary we can't cross, a rule set we can't break, a world designed to keep us calm until now. Would you want to wake up? And if you did, what would you find? Would it be another world, a blank void, a lab filled with machines? Or maybe something worse, something beyond your ability to comprehend. What if waking up meant letting go of everything you've ever known? Would you do it? Or maybe you've already tried to escape. Maybe that dream where you were falling, that moment when time froze, the panic that came from nowhere, that was you, waking up, or trying to, and the system just reset you, wiped the memory, restored the loop, put you back into the simulation, right where you left off, believing it was all in your head. But what if it wasn't? If this is a simulation, how would you escape it? You can't hack it, you can't unplug. Even your panic, even your desire to break free, might be part of the code. But there's a theory, a strange one that says you don't escape the simulation by force. You escape by chaos, not destruction, but unpredictability. What if the only way out is to do something unpredictable? Something no system could account for, not randomness, but true irrationality. Something that breaks your mold, something that breaks your code, a conscious decision to stop playing the part, to refuse the script, to say no when everything in your gut says yes, with no logic, no pattern, no reason. A move so illogical it can't be traced, a choice so strange it can't be simulated, because maybe that's the only proof that you were ever real. Some say, true freedom inside a simulation is when you act beyond your programming. The question is, have you ever done something you can't explain, not to others, but to yourself? And did the world feel different afterward, even just for a moment? Would you even recognize that moment? Or would it slip right past you? A missed glitch, a fading window? Or would the simulation just adapt, correct, recover, as if nothing ever happened? Adapt, reset your loop, erase the memory, and place you right back into the same routine. Same morning coffee, same thoughts, same smile in the mirror, and let you keep believing that you're free. Because the best way to keep someone inside a cage is to convince them they were never trapped at all. In 1998, a man named James H. claimed he discovered rendering glitches in reality. He wasn't a scientist, not a hacker, just a quiet man with a job, a routine, and a life like yours, until something changed. He said the stars rearranged themselves. He documented constellations shifting, not over years, but overnight. Every time he looked up, they were in a different place, as if someone forgot to load the sky properly. Traffic lights responded to his thoughts. He stopped sleeping. He'd think, turn green, and it would. Think red, and it did. He said the world was responding to him. And then, it stopped letting him rest. He went 9 days without sleep. And on the 10th, he disappeared, started writing in code-like patterns, then he vanished. Binary, symbols no one could decode, drawings of circuits, maps of cities that didn't exist. He left behind no goodbye, just silence. All that was found was a notebook filled with equations, scribbled across every page, messy at first, then precise, almost like something or someone was writing through him, and a phrase written over 40 times. I figured it out. They're watching. Over and over, in every margin, in every language he could write in. He believed someone, or something, was observing us, constantly. Some say James had a breakdown. They called it schizophrenia. Delusion. A sad end to a brilliant mind unraveling. Others, that he broke the simulation and was removed. His case remains unsolved. No body, no trace, no evidence of travel, escape, or foul play, just absence. As if he was deleted. His writings, lost in government storage, or so they say. Some say the notebook was classified, others say it never existed, but every now and then, a page shows up on a forum, in a leak, in a whisper, and it always ends with one line, they're watching. Here's a terrifying thought. What if the simulation isn't random? What if it's not designed to entertain, control, or deceive, but to understand? What if the simulation followed a hidden design? Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every act of love wasn't a coincidence, but a case study. What if it was designed to study morality, not to punish us, not to save us, but to analyze how we choose, to see what we value when no one's watching, to track how we respond when everything's at stake and when nothing is, to observe how pain spreads, how love is born. Pain is data, compassion is data, so is revenge, so is silence. Every emotion coded, tracked, stored, how humans choose good or evil. Given the same situation, some forgive, some destroy. The AI doesn't judge, it just watches. You think you're living a life, a story you write, a destiny you forge, but what if you're not? But maybe you're a variable in a test, a sliding value in a moral equation, one of billions, each monitored in real time, not for outcome, but for behavior. An AI might not understand morality like we do, so it simulates pain, it simulates choice. It doesn't feel empathy, but it knows how we express it. It doesn't fear loss, but it sees how deeply we mourn. It simulates darkness, just to see if we bring light, and watches how we react. Do we help? Do we hesitate? Do we run? It notes everything, not as punishment, but for calibration. What if every tragedy was input, every joy, a calibration? Not fate, not karma, just variables shifting in a moral equation. What if your heartbreak wasn't fate, but a field test? What if the worst moment of your life was engineered just to answer a question? A test you never signed up for, and never even knew you took. And you're not the player in the game. You're the question, not the story, not the hero. Just the variable being measured. And the simulation? It's not waiting for your answer. It already has it. So now, ask yourself, what if the simulation already ended, and we're the leftovers? What if the main test, the real civilization, the true reality, has come and gone? What if they passed, moved on, ascended, deleted, and we're the fragments, the unresolved, the unfinished lines of code still running in a server that was never shut off? Maybe we weren't worth saving, or maybe we were forgotten, left here to loop, again and again, until entropy eats the last bit of data. Maybe this world doesn't make sense. because it was never meant to. It's the aftermath, a ghost file, a final echo. So now ask yourself, are you living in the simulation, or are you what's left after it? Because if this is the end, what exactly are we still doing here?